Welcome back everyone, welcome to a new weekly watch roundup. Yeah, me where I'm talking about the TV and the films that I've watched over the past 7 days and giving you a little bit of an insight into my thoughts on them. So let's get into it. Okay, so what have I been watching this past week? We'll get into that in a minute, but before I do, subscribe button. If you wouldn't mind hitting that, that'd be fantastic. Also, I welcome you, or invite you, to leave me comments down below. Let me know things that you've been watching over the past week. Is there anything that I should be watching that I'm not watching? This sort of thing. So let me know. All interesting, all interests me. We can have a discussion about it. All fantastic. So let's get straight into the TV. It's only 3 items, and then we'll drop to the film. Okay, so first thing is The Boys. Yes, episode 4 of The Boys. This was episode 1 to 3 was shown in last week, so we got episode 1 this week just gone, or the 4th episode, 1 episode. We had 3 episodes, then we had 1 episode. Now, I love this show. I think it's fantastic. It feels fresh. It's got that dark humour element to it. Carl Urban is fantastic. Homelander's a brilliant character, so nuanced and just fantastic. He's scary. He's a scary character, really, to be honest, with the power that he has and his sort of the way his mind is and this sort of thing. It's just brilliant. Jensen Ackles from Supernatural, although he's had a few appearances in previous episodes, he does sort of appear at the end of this episode, so we're going to have him as Soldier Boy. Moving on. Now this program is hilarious. It's funny. It does things that, just so far out there. Like, in one of the previous episodes, there's a bit where you got a geezer with powers who's able to shrink, and he's in a homosexual relationship with this other fella, and he shrinks down and then climbs inside this other fella's penis. Up the urethra and stroking the inside and this sort of a thing to pleasure him. Only the geezer who shrunk, he's about to sneeze, and when he does sneeze uncontrollably, he restores to normal size while he's still inside this other fella, and the other fella just like splats everywhere. It's just some of the most visceral, amusing stuff that you've ever seen. It's that sort of stuff that you would say to yourself, if you had superpowers, the possibilities. I know there's always jokes about it with sort of like Ant-Man could kill Thanos by climbing up his anus and then enlarge it. And it's literally that on screen. So very, very good, very funny stuff. But yeah, just well written show, well executed, well acted. If you're not watching it, you should be watching The Boys. Next up was Orville, New Horizons. So this is episode 2 of the new season, the 3rd season of Orville, which is back after like a 3-year hiatus because of COVID and this sort of thing. And this episode was very sort of aliens inspired, shall we say, where they go aboard this space station in this dark territory of space, and it's a sort of biomechanical station, and a geezer gets infected by spores and then transitions into an alien type thing. He goes through this metamorphosis, almost like The Fly. So there's a lot of body horror in it. There's some dodgy CGI in it with the aliens, but the practical effects of these aliens, the suits, look fantastic. Yeah, they're man shaped, do you know what I mean? They're that sort of humanoid shape, but they do look really good. And it was a fun enough episode. There's some questions in it, in the logic, what the characters do and this sort of thing, but overall I thought it was a better episode than the first episode, which was very, very dark in it thematically. And this episode, it was nice to see some of the humour injected back into the show. I'm not asking for the show to be funny, outright funny, but a nice little bit of humour between characters always works. And this show's the 2nd season, or 2nd episode, has done that. It's fantastic. Then Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the latest episode. And this I had to watch this episode twice because there's a lot to unpack in it. But it was fantastic. It was such a strong sort of moral dilemma where you've got this planet of people, and you don't find this out until the end, so spoiler warning, that there's this kid that you believe is going to be their new leader, so to speak, and he's being positioned, and there's a ceremony for him. But only it turns out that it's not no such thing. It's not a ceremony of sorts where the kid becomes a leader. The kid's actually being plugged into this machine to keep their race alive, to keep their planet alive, and this is their beliefs. So it's almost like a sacrificial, you know, a sacrificial type of a ceremony. It does go ahead at the end of the episode. They don't find a way of stopping it or anything like this. It was just a really, really strong, good episode. Nansen Mount's just knocking this character of Captain Pike out of the park, and he's top notch. I mean, he's fast become one of my favourite captains of Star Trek ever. He's really good. Anyway, that's it for TV, just those things. So let's drop ourselves down into films. Now, it's either today or yesterday. It's 35 years to the day that Predator was released in cinemas in the US. And ironically, I watched Predator this week, a few days ago, a couple of days ago, on Disney Plus. My missus wanted to watch that. I said, I put Predator on, you know, it's easy film, and it's easily in my top 10 films of all time. Predator's just, it's just fantastic. What can I say about it? I ain't got a bad word to say about this film. It doesn't look dated at all because of the setting, and do you know what I mean? It's just, and the Predators never looked so good as what he did in his first film. This is just so much machismo on screen in this film that you'd never have this again, ever again. This film just oozes it. It's just one of the best action films ever made, and I love every minute of it. I can't really say no more. Yeah, and then I watched Die Hard 2. Yeah, now Die Hard 2 is a sequel that I like, but I'm not going to say too much about it because I actually watched it for an upcoming series of film videos that I'm doing that you'll see later in the year. So it's got to be saved for that. And that's what I'm doing. I'm working that far ahead, believe it or not. And then I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm talking the original, yeah, which I do have on Blu-ray. I've got all three of them, the original ones. I watched it as part of my comic book movies retro review series, where I've taken a look at the older comic book movies before the MCU and before the DCEU. This is episode 11 for that series, but unfortunately my review for that won't be up until August, sort of early August, because every other space is filled. I do it on a Wednesday. I do it on a Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday evening, about 6 PM it comes out. Every other week, it ain't weekly, it's bi-weekly, because it flits between that and another series that I do where I look at collectibles of mine. So that review will be coming for that. I won't give you no inkling on what I think of it. I have seen it before. I saw it when it first came out, obviously. It ain't like a first time watch or anything. And then the biggie was Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World Dominion, the theatrical release. I went to see that, and highly contrived movie, really contrived. Feels like a Fast and Furious movie at parts. Things happen that are very convenient within the plot. I mean, there's so many conveniences. There's 4 or 5 conveniences throughout this film. Like, oh, isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient? Oh, that's that person there while they're there, and all this sort of stuff. I'm sure you'll have fun with the dinosaurs. They look great and all this sort of a thing. The film looks good, but ultimately it's quite a shallow movie. It's got a tacked on ending, you know, where you have a big fight between several dinosaurs that doesn't feel earned. It feels pointless. Again, the T-Rex comes off as weak and all this sort of stuff. There's stuff to like in the film. There's moments of brilliance within the film. There's some fantastic shots with dinosaurs living alongside you know, the animals of today and this sort of thing, like herding, and you know, there's elements of the plot I thought were really good, but overall, you know, it's not the best film, not the best film at all. Yeah, it's time to make this franchise become extinct. That's all I can say. It's time to put it to bed. It's time to put it to sleep, lay it to rest. Yeah, because yeah, it was okay. It was okay. You know, I'll watch it again when it comes out, of course. I'm not saying it's a bad film. I'm just saying that it was lazily written. I'll say that. The writing ain't great in it. It's nice to see all the characters come back, but it's an okay film. An okay film. There are a few that are far better in the franchise than this. But anyway, that's it. Those are the items that I've watched this week. Those are the things. Nothing more. Nothing less. Oh, I did start Willow. So my thoughts on that will come next week. Yeah, I didn't get to the end of it. I was sleeping. I fell asleep. Not because the film was rubbish. Just because I was so tired. And I thought, oh, now I've got to go to bed. I'll switch it off. This was 8 PM last night. 8 PM. I said to my missus, I'm going to bed. I'm knackered. Turn this off. Turn this nonsense off. Anyway, here's AJ. Let me know what you've been watching. Let me know if you've seen some of this stuff, what your thoughts are on it. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because then you'll know when these other series drop. You know, when my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comes out, when Die Hard 2 will be, that'll be later in the year. Yeah, like I said, I do work that far ahead. I do think and put things in place. I couldn't make it as a premiere, but I did actually do a... No, I'll leave that for another day. This is AJ. I'll see you later. Take care and...